Quiet.
Mr. President-elect,
Go ahead.
Can you state
She's asking
categorically,
a question. Don't
Mr.
be
President-elect, can you give us a question?
Don't be
You are
rude.
attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude. No, I'm not going to give you a question. I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Sir.
Hi, I'm Dr. Dave Janda. Welcome back to Dave Vs the MSM. Today's topic is going to be about Patriot and deep state nemesis, General Michael Flynn. He is fighting for his freedom, our country, for your and my freedom as well. It's that simple. And the deep state's on its heels. We're going to be on this Sunday show on Operation Freedom, the radio show, which airs every Sunday from 2 to 5 Eastern on Wham Talk 1600 out of the People's Republic of Ann Arbor. You can stream the show live. It's free. Just go to davejanda.com, hit the Listen Live button toward the top of the homepage. We're there. Great guests, great analysis, information you're not going to get from the bought-off lamestream fake media. We're there from 2 to 5 every Sunday. This week, we're going to have Barbara Flynn Redgate as one of our special guests. She is the sister of General Michael Flynn. Barbara has joined us before. We actually, at the request of our subscribers, took the podcast from that radio show and we uploaded it here on YouTube, so it's in our archives. It was about a month and a half ago. I encourage you to listen to that. There have been some developments of late that we are going to discuss that the deep state does not want you to know about. And that is at the end of December, the judge in the case, Judge Emmett Sullivan, ruled that General Flynn's fantastic attorney, I believe one of the top, if not the top, litigator in our country, Sidney Powell, had put forward information that said, Your Honor, the prosecutors have withheld information that reveals the innocence of General Flynn. Information such as, and they're holding back on this, the original 302 forms that the FBI agents Strzok and Piatenka, who interviewed General Flynn on January 24th, 2017, well, the original 302 form is missing. When the FBI interviews someone, in this case General Flynn, they fill out a form, and they have 5 days to fill it out and turn it in into their Sentinel system. They have 5 days, so that would be by January 29th, 2017. Well, guess what? That 302 form is missing, according to the prosecutors. But they presented some other 302 forms, one on February 10th, one on February 11th, one on February 14th, and one on February 15th, all of 2017. Usually for an interview, there's one 302 form. In this case, there are 4 that have been edited and one, the original, that's missing. Sound a little fishy? Yeah, more than fishy. It's interesting because that Sidney Powell had revealed that, in fact, those forms, and found that those forms had been edited. And apparently, as we've discussed in previous videos, and go back to the archives again, where we've discussed this at great length about General Flynn and his innocence and how he is being framed by the deep state. And he's being framed by the deep state because, well, he knows where all the bodies are buried when it comes to the deep state. And they cannot have him in a position of power, such as National Security Advisor to Donald Trump, which is why he was immediately targeted to be taken out. But Sidney Powell has revealed that those forms, those 302 forms, of which the original is missing, have been edited. And apparently they were edited by who? Lisa Page and Andrew McCabe. Edited to the point where it made it look as though he lied when he didn't. Which everybody's trying to make sense of. Well, wait a minute. Why did the agents interviewing him, Strzok and Piatenka, say that they felt that the general hadn't lied when they interviewed him on January 24th, 2017? How about because he did not? It's just when the forms were changed. And then the question comes up, well, then why in December of 2017 did he sign a plea deal saying that he lied on one occasion to the FBI? How about this? As Sidney Powell pointed out, in her motion to compel the information, the exonerating information that shows General Flynn's innocence that the prosecutors are holding on to, General Flynn was threatened, coerced. If you don't sign something, we're going to come after your family, and in particular, your son. His son, whose wife recently had a baby. If this sounds like something out of Stalin's Soviet Union, of Mao's China, of the Stasi out of East Germany, well, you'd be right, because this is. It's beyond reprehensible. It's criminal. Well, General Flynn had been scheduled to be sentenced on January 28th, 2020. And apparently that there is a agreement between the defense, Sidney Powell's team, General Flynn, and the prosecutors of a stay for roughly 30 days. But in the meantime, on January 14th, Sidney Powell filed a motion to withdraw the plea of guilt for General Flynn. Here's what Sidney tweeted. We just filed a motion to withdraw the plea of General Flynn because the government acted in bad faith, with vindictiveness, and breached the plea agreement pursuant to which he had cooperated fully at great personal expense and held back nothing, according to the prosecutors, until General Flynn refused to lie on demand from prosecutors in the Rafikian case. Van Grack, the prosecutor, exploded. Now his new sentencing memo seeks to send General Flynn to prison. You see, when the prosecutors went to court in a sentencing date, December of 2018, they recommended 0 months probation for General Flynn because he was cooperating. He had cooperated with the special counsel Mueller's team, of which they got nothing out of him. And he cooperated on this individual he had done business with by the name of Bijan Rafikian. And they said, oh, he's been exemplary. He's helped us. Well, it turns out that was in 2018. In 2019, when Rafikian was going to trial, apparently these prosecutors, when you read this withdrawal withdrawal of the plea document, it appears that the prosecutors tried to strong-arm General Flynn into lying so that Rafikian could be prosecuted. And he refused to do so. And then when he refused to do so, all of a sudden, on January 7th, 2020, the prosecutors recommended, rather than 0 months in prison, they recommended between 0 and 6 months in prison. Again, if this sounds again like something out of Stalin's Soviet Union, out of Mussolini's Italy, out of Mao's China, out of the Stasi's East Germany, yeah, you got it. And that's why Sidney tweeted what she did. I consider Sidney Powell a friend. The night she entered that plea, January 14th, she sent me a cover note. Michael T. Flynn withdraws his plea. I'm going to read a couple segments of the letter for you. Today, General Michael T. Flynn has exercised his right to move to withdraw his plea of guilty because the government has engaged in bad faith and vindictive conduct, and it has breached the plea agreement pursuant to which he has cooperated for 2 years. General Flynn is innocent of all charges. Mr. Flynn was always truthful, and future filings will make that clear. General Flynn has been targeted, might I say, by the deep state, my words, not Sidney's, by vindictive and unprincipled prosecutors. In the summer of 2019, General Flynn refused to perjure himself for the prosecutors in a case against a former partner in his private business. That was Rafikian. This refusal to be coerced into a lie led the government to file a new sentencing memorandum, which was in January 2020, in which it reversed course and withdrew both its representation that General Flynn provided substantial assistance and its recommendation for a departure, as contractually mandated by the plea agreement. The government's attempt to withdraw its prior motion and change its position is a breach of the plea agreement, a contract. Mr. Flynn's counsel must move to withdraw the plea to protect his constitutional rights. When the government breaches its agreement with a defendant, counsel is obligated to seek the appropriate remedy, here, withdrawal of his plea. For these reasons and for further substantive and serious reasons that will be filed at a later date, General Flynn has instructed his counsel to withdraw his guilty plea. General Flynn is innocent of the charges against him. He has fulfilled his commitments to cooperate with the investigation in good faith. The same cannot be said for the prosecution. We will work now to reclaim his good name for his sake and that of his family, and to help restore trust in our justice system by standing up against the scandal and abuses of his unjust prosecution. The judge now has to rule if he's going to accept General Flynn's motion to withdraw his guilty plea. Judge Emmett Sullivan has a choice. It's this simple. Bottom line. He can uphold the law and the rule of law and not only allow General Flynn to withdraw his guilty plea, but when you read the 24-page document that Sidney Powell and her team prepared on behalf of General Flynn about the removal of the plea, when you read the document she filed about that his defense was entitled to the evidence that shows his innocence that the government is withholding, I believe Judge Sullivan not only should allow General Flynn to withdraw his plea of guilt, but he should, in fact, not only dismiss the case, but hold the prosecutors, I believe, on prosecutorial misconduct charges. So Judge Sullivan has a choice. He can uphold the rule of law, or he can uphold the political frame and hit job that the deep state has engineered against General Flynn. It is that simple. And that is exactly what we'll be discussing with Barbara Flynn Redgate this Sunday's Operation Freedom Show. You can tune in 2 to 5 Eastern, stream it live, davejanda.com. Until next time, Dave Janda signing off. Dream big and dare to fail. It's time to stand strong.